जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यमुनतीरावन चारि। यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यमुनतीरावन चारि। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यमुनतीरावन चारि। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यमुनतीरावन चारि। हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 जय राधा गोपी वल्लभ राधा गोपी वल्लभ राम जय जगन्नाथ जगन्नाथ बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा। जय जगन्नाथ जगन्नाथ बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा। जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयन पथगामी नयन पथगामी भावो तुम्हें। जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयन पथगामी नयन पथगामी भावो तुम्हें। ताई गौरांग ताई गौरांग निताई गौरांग मुरारी। जय सच्चिनंदन जय सच्चिनंदन जय सच्चिनंदन गौर हरि सीता पवन सीता पवन पतिता पवन गौर हरि। जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव गुरुदेव देव जय जय गुरुदेव नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल संतोष ज्ञान तिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवां च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदां सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्णा चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार शिवसादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवती नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपः कुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। नमः पंकजनाभाय नमः पंकजमालिने नमः पंकजनेत्राय नमस्ते पंकजाङ्ग्रये नमो महाबदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरद्विषे नमः। नमो ब्राह्मण्याय देवाय गौ ब्राह्मणाहिताय च जगद्दिताय कृष्णाय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। नमः ओं विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवाद पाश्चात्य देशकारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं गायते गिरिं यत्कृपः तमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणं श्रीपरमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरम्। ओम पवित्रो पवित्रो वा सर्वावस्थं गतोऽपि वा यत्स्मरेत् पुण्डरीकाक्ष सह शुचि श्रीविष्णु 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 चेतो दर्पणमर्जनं भवमहद्वाक्यनिर्वापनं श्रेयकैरिव चन्द्रिका वितरणं विद्यावधूजीवनम् आनन्दं बुद्धिवर्धनं प्रतिपदं पूर्णामृतस्वादनं सर्वत्मसपनं परं विजेते श्रीकृष्णसङ्कीर्तनं नाम बहुळानि च सर्वशक्तिस्तत्रातिपनियमितं स्मरणेन कालः एतादृशी तव कृपा भगवन् ममापि बुद्धैवमीदृशम् इह जानिननुरागः तृणादपि सुनिचेन तरुरपि सहिष्णुना माननीयमानदेन कीर्तनैः सदा हरि न धनं न जनं न सुन्दरीं कवितं वा जगदीश कामय जन्मनि जन्मनीश्वरे भवतद्भक्तिरहो इदकी त्वयि अयि नन्दतनुज किङ्करवति तमां विषमे भवाम्बुधौ कृपया तव पादपङ्कजसदृशं विचिन्तया नयनं गलदश्रुधारया वदनं गद्गदरुधाय गिरापुलकिर्निचितं उपकदा तरुणामि गृहणे भविष्यति युगायितं निमिषेण चक्षुषा प्रवर्षायितं शुभायितं जगत्सर्वं गोविन्दं विरहेण मे आश्लिष्य वा पादरतं पिनस्तु मामादर्शनं मर्महतां करोतु वा यथा तथा विधातु लम्पतो मत्प्रणनाथास्तु एव न परम् हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम राम हरे हरे Hare Krishna, Prabhujis and Matajis, thank you for joining on the Ekadashi, Mohini Ekadashi day. I'm very grateful for your presence. Hare Krishna, Shilpa Mataji, Dandot Pranam, thank you for joining. Shri Gopal Prabhu and Poonam Mataji, thank you for joining. Padma Mataji, Hare Krishna, thank you for joining Mataji. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Vanilla Mataji, thank you for joining.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Dandavat pranams.
Hare Krishna, Himanshu Prabhu, Survi Mataji, thank you for joining. Hare Krishna. Murlidhar Coin Prabhu, Krishna Haripriya Mataji, thank you for joining. Akinchan Priya Prabhu and Shobha Kumari Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, thank you for joining.
Krishna, thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you for joining, Mataji. Lavanya Mataji, Hare Krishna, thank you for joining.
Dandavat pranams.
Nirupa Mataji and Subhara Prabhu, thank you for joining. Hare Krishna. Sanjay Prabhu and whole family, Dandavat Pranam, thank you for joining.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Dandavata Pranam.
Mataji, Surendra Prabhu, joining. Nathadev Prabhu, Shivali Mataji, thank you for joining.
Dandavat pranam Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Pravesh Prabhu, Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji. Pravesh Prabhu, Shri Mataji ki jai, thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat pranam.
So happy to hear your voice. Last week we missed you in the boat festival, bro. The boat festival which you started in the house, we missed you. I missed you like anything.
Yes, Prabhuji. We also missed Prabhuji. Somehow that we could not come. Sorry.
So how can you? You are in Bangalore.
Next time, if we get like information 1 month before, we plan to come for sure.
No, you should conduct it in Bangalore. That is the idea.
Abhi to Prabhuji, I am driving today now. I will listen to your class today drive because I have to drive till 9 o'clock.
Oh, Krishna.
Yeah. Hare Krishna.
I just want to tell that you have inspired us to do boat festival in Hyderabad. Now please inspire everybody in Bangalore to do boat festival. Hare Krishna. Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Hare
thank you, Prabhuji and Matajis. Oh. So, Prabhuji and Matajis, it's been a long time actually. I've given a Bhagavatam class, various reasons. Almost, I think, fourth time. Shilpa Mataji has been very considerate to reschedule or reassign somebody, even at the last minute. I feel it's my great privilege and, fortune to read Srimad Bhagavatam among his devotees. And for myself, my own sadhana, so important. One Ekadashi, I was in Yadadri temple and I had asked Dasraj Prabhu to take the Bhagavatam class. And the last minute, like just 1 hour before, right? 1 hour maybe. I took a wonderful class. So nice of him. And many other times my health was not good. And, I had to, in the last minute, cancel it also. Please forgive me for last Ekadashi class getting cancelled. I'm very grateful that all of you have joined. We had just started the 8th canto, Srimad Bhagavatam, 8th canto. which is named as what? Withdrawal of the cosmic creation. Right? Withdrawal of cosmic creation. Then this Subbara Prabhu had started the 8th chapter, 8th canto, first chapter. First 12 verses he had already finished. So my goal today is to try and finish the remaining. So the chapter name is the Manu's Administrators of the Universe. So basically what is happening here, a quick background is that the explanation, the answer to Yudhishthir Maharaj's question is given by Narad Muni. And the question was, is the Supreme Lord not partial to Devatas? That was the question. And for that, Narad Muni, Srila Narad Muni gave an answer explaining the great devotee Prahlad Maharaj was born among demons, but he was a great Vaishnava. So the whole 7th canto was dedicated. And so nice that in another couple of days, we are going to celebrate Narsingha Chaturdashi, the appearance day of Lord Narsinghadev, which is what is the 7th canto about. So 15 chapters of 7th canto have been discussed and finished. Whoever has attended all of them is the most fortunate. And whoever has already read them or is reading them is most fortunate. So now we are into the 8th canto. Now here in the beginning of this canto, there is a whole, there is a question again by Parikshit Maharaj asking, are there any more Manus, that in the day of Brahma that I need to know, the glorious devotees? Because Swayambhuva Manu was explained in 7th canto. After that, are there any more Manus? So, I will just read the translations for the first 12 verses, just to set a context, so that what was discussed last week and how we are progressing from now. Okay. I'll read the verse also, the first verse. Shri Rajo Vacha Swayambhu Vashyeha Guru Vamsho Ayam Vistarat Shruta Yatra Vishwa Shrijam Sargo Manon Anyan Vadasvana. King Parikshit said, translation purport by Divine A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. King Parikshit said, "O my Lord, my spiritual master, now I have fully heard from your grace about the dynasty of Swayambhuva Manu. But there are also other Manus, and I want to hear about their dynasties. Kindly describe them to us." Hare Krishna. So here is a question. Please let me know why he wants to know about Manus. Because Manus come with the purpose of serving the Supreme Lord. At each Manvantara, they come there and they are serving the Supreme Lord. It's just not a chronological order of people coming and going. Remember one thing, that this whole material world is created primarily to deliver us. And all the Prajapatis, Lord Brahma, and all his Prajapati sons, and the Manus who come each Manvantara, and all the Devatas, everybody is their primary duty is to help the conditioned souls realize that they cannot be happy without the association of Supreme Lord. That is their main goal. So the Manus also play a very, very prominent role. And sometimes the Supreme Lord even comes in the form of a Manu, or sometimes in the form of Prajapati also. Supreme Lord can take anybody's role. Though he has so many empowered by him souls who take these roles, but sometimes he himself appears. I just thought Hare Krishna. Try to mute. Actually, somebody is not on mute. Yeah, everybody is on mute. Okay. Hare Krishna. Okay, so text number 2. O learned Brahmana, Sukadeva Goswami, the great learned persons who are completely intelligent describe the activities and appearance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead during the various Manvantaras. We are very eager to hear about these narrations. Kindly describe them. Yeah. So he's saying, Sukadeva Goswami, you are very learned and you can describe the activities of Lord whenever he appeared in each manvantara. I think if I'm right, around 120 Divya Yugas is equal to one manvantara, when the whole shifting happens of many devatas, job rotation, etc. Text 3. O learned Brahmana, kindly describe to us whatever activities the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who created this cosmic manifestation, has performed in the past manvantaras, is performing at the present, and will perform in the future manvantaras. Wow. Now, this kind of question cannot be asked by an ordinary person to any other person, right? If somebody asks you, can you tell me what you did in the past, what you are doing right now? And the most difficult, what are you going to do in future? For certain, that is going to happen, right? So this is Trikaladarshi Gyan, which is given to some great sages. And they can remember any time in the past. We can't remember any time in the past. What we did, breakfast 3 days ago, we don't know. What to speak of remembering, and speaking in Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna. Text 4. Sukadeva Goswami said, in the present Kalpa, there have already been 6 Manus. I have described to you Swayambhu Manu and the appearance of many Devatas. In this Kalpa of Brahma, Swayambhu Manu, Swayambhuva is the first. Yeah. Text 5. Swayambhu Manu had 2 daughters named Akuti and Devahuti. Had cows named Akuti and Devahuti. I suddenly remembered them. So Swayambhu Manu had 2 daughters named Akuti and Devahuti. From their wombs, the Supreme Personality of Godhead appeared as 2 sons named Yajnamurti and Kapila, respectively. These sons were entrusted with preaching about religion and knowledge. Yajnamurti and Kapila. So I think Kapila Muni we discussed in detail in 3rd canto. So text 6. For best of the Kurus, I have already described in the 3rd canto the activities of Kapila, the son of Devahuti. Now I shall describe the activities of Yajnapati, the son of Akuti. Text 7. Swayambhu Manu, the husband of the Tata Rupa, was by nature not at all attached to enjoyment of the senses. Thus he gave up his kingdom for sense enjoyment and entered the forest with his wife to practice austerities. Okay. Text 8. O Stiyar of Bharata, after Swayambhu Manu had thus entered the forest with his wife, he stood on one leg on the bank of river Sunanda, and in this way, with one leg touching the earth, he performed great austerities for 100 years. While performing these austerities, he spoke as follows. Text 9. So here Swayambhu Manu is speaking. Lord Manu said, the Supreme Living Being has created this material world of animation. It is not that he was created by this material world. When everything is silent, the Supreme Being stays awake as a witness. The living entity does not know him, but he knows everything. Correct. He is explaining the supremacy of Supreme Lord. Text 10. Within this universe, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in his super soul feature, is present everywhere. Wherever there are animate and inanimate beings, therefore, one should accept only that which is allotted to him. One should not desire to infringe upon the property of others. So this beautiful shlokas actually, that it's very difficult to realize who is the Supreme Lord, and because he is there in everything. The living entity can't easily, uh, realize him unless he becomes a devotee. And it's being told that he is very much in charge of everything and he's giving everybody what they deserve. So one should not be greedy to take from others. Okay? Text 10. Now let us go to text 11, which was also discussed last week. There's a big purport to text 10. Text 11. Although the Supreme Personality of Godhead constantly watches the activities of the world, no one sees him. However, one should not think that because no one sees him, he does not see. For his power to see is never diminished. Therefore, everyone should worship the Super Soul, who always stays with the individual soul as a friend. Text 12. The Supreme Personality of Godhead has no end and no middle, nor does he belong to a particular person or nation. He has no inside or outside. The dualities found within this material world, such as the beginning and end, mine and theirs, are all absent from the Supreme Personality, from the personality of Supreme Lord. The universe which emanates from him is another feature of the Lord. Therefore, the Supreme Lord is the ultimate truth and he is complete in greatness. Hare Krishna. So here till now, Swayambhava Manu is explaining the greatness of Supreme Lord, how we have to understand and have the faith that he actually exists. Because this Maya in which we live can easily take us away. Right? Maya is also his energy. But we can choose which energy we want to predominate us. We want Maya to predominate us, or we want Lord Krishna to predominate us, and so we can be always conscious of God. Right? So now from here, we'll read text number 13 onwards. One of the things, when some of the cantos, some of the chapters in some of the cantos are mostly like giving information about different personalities who appeared in this world. So one might think, why is it that Parikshit Maharaj is asking just to know information about people when he's dying, right? Just think about it, everybody, say, for example, somebody in your apartment is dying, right? And you go to see him. And then he asks that, can you tell all the names of people in this building? And you might wonder, like, you're dying. How does it matter who is staying in this building? Right? It's a very inapt question, which doesn't necessarily have any significance. So here, Parikshit Maharaj is going to leave his body. He must be, we are in 8th canto, which means out of the 7 days, I'm speculating, maybe he's in the 3rd day or 4th day. That means half of the time that was given to him by Daksha Prajapati, by, half of the time that is there, available after the curse that he got, right, is already over and only half is remaining. And why is he asking which Manus are there in the day of Brahma? And most importantly, what he's asking is what Supreme Lord's activities have happened in those days, in those times of each Manu. So that is the important part. So sometimes when we read Bhagavatam, it feels as if we're just reading the Manu's names. No, we are not reading just Manu's names, or we are not just reading something about creation. In everything, we are seeing Krishna. That's the most important part. So he doesn't want to miss out. Please tell me, Sukadeva Goswami, what all Supreme Lord did in each Manvantara. Right? Each one. I want to, because the whole Bhagavatam is to know about Supreme Lord. Another thing, Prabhuji and Mataji, is we should understand, I'm just trying to set a mood before I go forward, is that sometimes we discuss about creation. Oh, this came first out of Brahma, from his backside this came, from his head this came, from his mind this came, from Krishna's body, this came, that came. Now, these all might seem very technical, and like, why do I need to know all these things? I want to hear Krishna Leelas. That might be a consciousness of a devotee, and which is not wrong. But we should understand that this Bhagavatam is Paramahamsa Samhita, something for Paramahamsas. Why? Because Paramahamsas can take the essence from everything. That is the greatness of Hamsa, right? Hamsa means a swan, which can even take milk out of water, right? So now, when we read such chapters where Krishna's name is not mentioned much, but there is all technical details being given, you should understand that anyone in love with Krishna would want to hear so many things about Krishna. I'll give you an example. You are sending your daughter to a college. Say you are sending her to a college where she's going to residential college, right? Now, when your daughter comes for a holidays, she comes back home, and you would ask so many questions to her. So, how are you, Nana? How was your food? Did you miss us? Right? And then you start asking many other things. How is your classroom? How is your hostel? How is the food there? How is the warden? How are your friends? And then your daughter speaks something like, Nana, I go for walking on these roads, and on those roads there is this other building. I don't visit there, but some students go there. There is a block for humanities. There is a block for sciences. There is a block for this, and teachers live there. Some teachers go for weekends outside. We go for weekend here. We go. Any other person, please hear this out. Any other person, if he tells all these details to you, you would simply say, why are you telling all this to me? They're not, how are they going to help me? How are they even applicable to me? You are talking about things in your campus, some repair work is happening in the campus. Why do I need to know? But when your daughter speaks it, everything feels relevant. Everything feels important. Why? Because you're in love with your daughter. As simple as that. You love your daughter so much that you want to see how she is living in different circumstances, right? How she is living in different circumstances. So that is how, yeah, that is how important it is, right? In the same way, Prabhuji and Mataji, when we are in love with Krishna, even the appearance of different Manus and how Krishna comes in each Manvantara. And first of all, you will start appreciating, my God, my Krishna, how great you are, how you create all these Manvantaras, and you appoint people and you allocate duties, you do so many things, right? You start really appreciating and applauding how this little Krishna, who steals butter in Vrindavan, whose mother chases him when he does any mischief, he's creating Manvantras, my God. So many people are reporting to him. So Prabhupada says, Srila Prabhupada says that when you remember Krishna as Shama Sundara Gopal, then you read Bhagavatam and then you start appreciating that little Shama Sundara is doing such wonderful activities. Otherwise, Bhagavatam will become very boring, Prabhupada. If you don't have love towards Krishna, if you don't appreciate what Krishna does, what he does, and if you don't have that direct connection with Krishna, then reading Bhagavatam is very difficult. It will read, you bore like that. Some devotees tell, Prabhuji gets sleep when I read Bhagavatam. No wonder you can sleep, because Krishna is not giving you access. Right? Krishna is not giving you access to himself in Bhagavatam. So you're getting sleep. Sometimes some people, they attend the class, but they're not attending the class. They have no interest. Prabhu, attendance they have. Why? Because there is no interest in Bhagavad. There is no connection with Krishna. But how do you develop connection with Krishna? When you get attraction for Krishna. And how do you develop attraction for Krishna? By hearing about Krishna. By reading Bhagavatam, by understanding Bhagavatam. Prabhu, I don't have any attraction when I'm chanting. Of course you don't have any attraction when you're chanting. Because you don't have attraction for Krishna. How will you have attraction for chanting his names? Huh? So you should understand that all these things are very related. Ye yathamam prapadyante tam sate bhajami. When we approach Krishna with love, everything related to Krishna will give us love. But if you don't have any love for Krishna, and we are not putting any effort also, then how do you think you will experience any happiness while chanting his names? Applies to me, applies to everybody. So the spiritual life is such a sacred activity that if you don't do it with focus, it pretty much becomes a ritual. Prabhu, every Ekadashi, I'm attending class. Every Saturday, Sunday morning, I'm attending class. Every Sunday feast, I'm attending. But who is attending? Your body is attending. Your senses are attending. Your mind is attending. Or your soul is attending. Right? Are you applying your mind? Are you applying your intelligence for what is being discussed? Or are you just seeing this as a ritual? Or you're just multitasking? Okay, Prabhu, ye bhi khatam karne. Because what do you want to do for the rest of the day? You want to do things where you don't remember Krishna. But a Paramahamsa, who is very, very devoted to Lord Krishna, enjoys everything about Krishna. Even if he sees Krishna directly or indirectly in it, he enjoys it. So we should desire that Krishna, please make me a servant of such a Paramahamsa. Or if you desire, allow me to be, a devotee one day. Right? A devotee. Prabhupada created ISKCON to create pure devotees. Right? He didn't create ISKCON to as a place where people just come and meet ritualistically as a template. That's not why he created. He wanted to create pure devotees. Prabhupada told us, I want to create pure devotees. I want to give people to become pure devotees by presenting the purest philosophy. And Bhagavatam, as Prabhupada gives in introduction, is the scripture which can change the human civilization, which can resolve all the problems of human society, provided they take shelter of it. So, my dear Prabhujis and Matajis, in this satsang, let us cultivate the desire. Please, give me some attraction. I'm so dull-headed that I know everything, but I'm not following. I know that hearing Bhagavatam is the highest, but I have no attraction. So when I'm reading Bhagavatam, I get sleep. When sitting in a class, I get sleep. My desires are pulling me in different directions. Krishna, please give me attraction to read Srimad Bhagavatam and see you in every page of Bhagavatam. So with that said, let us start the class today. I just did a brief recap and a prelude I gave before I discuss the class. So text number 13. Bhagavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 1, text number 13. Savishvakaya Puruhuta Isha Satya Swayam Jyotir Aja Purana Dhatte Asya Janmadi Ajayatma Shaktya Tam Vidya Yodosya Niriha Ashte. Translation. The entire cosmic manifestation is the body of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Absolute Truth, who has millions of names and unlimited potencies. He is self-effulgent, unborn, and changeless. He is the beginning of everything, but he has no beginning, because he has created this cosmic manifestation by his external energy. The universe appears to be created, maintained, and annihilated by him. Nonetheless, he remains inactive in his spiritual energy and is untouched by the activities of the material energy. Hare Krishna. So, here, Swayambhu Manu is speaking. He is explaining a little more about how Lord Krishna is the controller, proprietor, enjoyer, observer, witness, sanctioner of everything that is happening, and how he is the one who has created, and he is the one who is maintaining, and he is the one who will annihilate it one day. And by the way, he has no obligation, and he is not affected by what is happening in this material world, right? For example, right now we are on the verge of a war, right, between India and Pakistan. You think Krishna is in tension right now? Oh, my God, what is going to happen? How I have to do what I have to do? No, he has no tension. He has no relationship, because this war, this annihilation, small annihilations, big annihilations, all these things are part of this material world. Our body itself is temporary. This body that I'm holding, this face that I'm showing to you, this is temporary. One fine morning, you will hear Lilananda has died. Then you'll go and see his dead body. It is there, the front room, back room, hospital, wherever. You'll go and see, and maybe some of you will say, Prabhuji, he left. How long? How long will you see this body after that? Huh? If I died any time before 11 o'clock in the morning, the same day my body is gone. Because that much time they take, to put and to do the rituals. And by the time you take me to, take this body to the burial ground, it will take 4 hours, 5 hours max. And then how long will people wait in the burial ground? It will start stinking also, right? These days, people are so much affected by smell that even if the body stays for 3-4 hours in the house, they are bringing that, what is it? The fridge, right? With a cover, they are keeping the body inside. You don't want. But sometimes you should smell it. It's important you smell it. So you know how great you are, or how great your body is, that you're so proud of. Powder lagake, cream lagake, every morning see in the mirror, while you're dressing, how am I looking? 3 angles, 3D circulation of the body to make sure I'm looking nice. What is that body? Nothing. Nasty thing. Right? So that is how much you will give your time. So for example, today I'm dead, but today night I'm gone. Today evening I'm gone. Right? My sons have seen my body. You all have seen it's all burnt. And once you start the fire, how long does it take? His nose, eyes, top one sound will come. What is that sound called? Forgot. Breaking of the skull. There is a Sanskrit word for that. Kapala. Kapala breaks, they say. Something like that. Right? Done. And all your Kapala Moksha. Thank you, Satyadev. Kapala Moksha. That stupid head in which you kept all this knowledge, all this ego, your pride, your perspectives, your attitude, but it will break. And you're gone. You're gone, right? So proud of this body, this material world. Everything that can relate to is gone. So for such a world, why will God get affected? Just think about it. Why will God get affected by such a world? But God gets affected when devotees are in that world. Because Krishna loves all of us. So he can't see us in this world. Hey, come on, come back. Come back to Goloka Vrindavan. What are you doing there? I am with you as Paramatma, reminding you again and again in each body. Please come back. But God is not affected by this world. That is what Srimad Bhagavatam is saying, right? He remains inactive in spiritual energy and is untouched by the activities of the material energy. Tamoguna, Rajoguna, Satvaguna, this choice, that choice, this happening, that happening. Doesn't affect God. That is the greatness of God. So that is why intelligent people, when they go to God, they don't ask corrections in this material world. Or at least that is not their primary prayer. devotees can pray relevant to that, saying that, please help me remain focused on you when all these uh, tribulations are happening in this material world. But tribulations definitely affect us. They affect Pandavas also. But then, what did they choose in between all those tribulations? They did not choose Narayani Sena. They chose Krishna. So Krishna, as long as you are there, these tribulations are only a medium to remember you. Kunti Maharani is telling, right? That whenever these difficulties come, we remember you. So give me those difficulties. So remembering you is the most auspicious, and remembering you is the only way we can come out of the cycle of birth and death. Right? So Prabhupada writes the same in the purport. So I'm going to skip this part of the purport. I mostly covered what Prabhupada said. Yeah. Let's go to text 14. Athagre resh athagre rashya karman ihante akarma etave iha mano hi purusha prayo aniham prapadyate. Therefore, to enable people to reach the stage of activities that are not tinged by fruitive results, great saints first engage people in fruitive activities, for unless one begins by performing activities as recommended in the Shastras, one cannot reach the stage of liberation or activities that produce no reaction. So ultimately, Prabhu, we want to do akarma. Akarma means activities which are done only for the satisfaction of God, and which don't have either good karma or bad karma as a reaction. But in order for people to do that, they have to be given some practice and some incentive to even come towards such activities, right? So that is the reason there are several other activities mentioned in the Vedas which help people to become pious, like doing Annadanam, Shastra Danam, giving your time Danam, most important, time Danam. Give some time for God, right? When you do all these things, then one day you'll actually do bhakti. That is what is being told here, right? Hare Krishna. So there is a huge purport in which Prabhupada comments about how this gradual elevation happens. Right? And here Prabhupada is quoting Yajñartano karmanyatra lokoyam karma bandhana tadatta karma kaunteya bhukta sangha samachara. He's saying you have to perform activities, but you have to give them as an offering to Lord Vishnu. Otherwise, these activities will create bondage in this material world. Right? You can't be getting out of these activities. So Karma Yoga also is being explained here by Srila Prabhupada by saying one who is a neophyte in yoga system, work is said to be the means. And for one who has attained yoga, cessation of all work is said to be the means. Right? So, but you have to reach that. It's a gradual elevation. You can't just directly jump. And again in 3.6, one who restrains the senses and organs of action, but whose mind dwells on sense objects, certainly deludes himself is a pretender. So you just can't pretend that you have become Krishna conscious by artificially, by saying, "Oh, I've stopped everything. I'm sitting in a corner now." But his mind is in all directions. What is the use? Right? Controlling the mind. So, Prabhuji, these are all gradual elevation, as I explained, right? And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj is saying here, Dushta Manatumi Kshira Vaishnava Pratishtharatare Nirjanera Gare Tava Harinama Kevala Kaitava. My dear mind, what kind of a devotee are you? Simply your cheap adoration, simply for your cheap adoration, you sit in a solitary place and pretend to chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, but this is all cheating. Huh? So Prabhupada says recently at Mayapura, an African devotee wanted to imitate Haridas Thakur, but after 15 days, he became restless and went away. Do not suddenly try to imitate Haridas Thakur. Engage yourself in Krishna conscious activities, and gradually you will come to the stage of liberation. Muktir Hitvanta Rupam Swarupena Vyavasthiti. So we hear about His Grace Anand Vrindavan Prabhu's morning program, where he encourages devotees to come and chant, right? And he encourages them to chant with that screen, camera open from wherever they are in the world. And then Prabhuji motivates them to increase their chanting on weekends and then do at least 164 rounds of chanting once in a month. And then once in a year, like 190 rounds, something like that, right? How many Haridas Thakur is to do, Stiladas Thakur is to do. And then encourage all of them to come. Whoever has done this throughout the year, to come to Siddhabakul and there sit down and chant 64 rounds every day. Now, this is called gradual elevation and preparation with a motivation to please the Supreme Lord and to connect with the Supreme Lord. Right? This is how Acharyas do. Hare Krishna. Yeah, Satyadev Prabhu, you raised your hand. You want to say something?
హరే కృష్ణ ప్రభుజీ. ప్రభుజీ ఇందాక శ్లోకంలో ఇట్లా చెప్పారు కదా, ప్రొటెక్టివ్ యాక్టివిటీస్ అని. ఇప్పుడు డివోటీస్, కొత్తగా వచ్చే డివోటీస్ కి ఇట్లా మీరు చాంటింగ్ చేయండి, మీ కష్టాలన్నీ తీరిపోతాయి అని చెప్పడం కరెక్టేనా ప్రభుజీ? అంటే జస్ట్ టు ఎంకరేజ్ దెమ్ టు కమ్, అండ్ తర్వాత ఫిలాసఫీ తెలిసిన తర్వాత వాళ్ళు, దే విల్ నో ద యాక్చువల్ రీజన్. బట్ ఇక్కడ ఎట్లయితే సాధువులు ప్రొటెక్టివ్ యాక్టివిటీస్ ఇస్తారు అనేసి అన్నారు కదా, సో మనం అట్లీస్ట్ ఎంకరేజ్ చేయడం కోసం మీరు చాంటింగ్ చేయండి, మీ కష్టాలన్నీ తీరిపోతాయి అని చెప్పడం కరెక్టేనా?
కరెక్టే, కష్టాలు తీరిపోతాయి కూడా. అది నిజమే, అబద్ధమే కాదు. రైట్, వాట్ ఇస్ ఇట్ వర్స్? అకామ కర్మ సభవ మోక్షకామ ఉదారది తీవ్రైన భక్తి యోగేన. The last line. Whatever.
Yajeta Purusham Param.
Yajeta Purusham Param. Thank you, man. So the verse actually says that, whether you are a karmi, kami, whatever, come to the Supreme Lord, ask. Right? He will make sure that, everything is removed gradually. Yeah. Sometimes you have to, before buying a vehicle, you do some testing, right? You go on a test ride. Right? Test ride has to be smooth. Test ride is too bumpy, then you'll run away, you'll not buy the vehicle.
Yes, Professor.
Later, afterwards, you'll know, Arey baapre, so many problems are there in the vehicle. But, not apples to apple comparison, but you have to develop faith that God exists. And for that, karma kanda rituals are given, whereby you perform those rituals, you see some results. So you understand, there is some super living entity which is above my senses, who is in control of a lot of things. So if I do this thing, these things are getting corrected. And later on, you will understand that whatever I'm getting materially is not satisfying me, because they are always coming and going. It's flickering. Then you ask, why is this flickering? Then the self-realization starts. And then you say, Hare Krishna mantra is not to solve your material problems, is to remove your material consciousness only. Right? So there is nothing wrong. And we are not lying when they say it will solve your problems, because problems are at different levels. Some people have problems according to their kosha. People in Annamaya kosha have different problems. That, my breakfast is not hot. Same breakfast is there everywhere. That is their biggest problem in life. Pranamaya kosha. Oh Krishna, what will happen? When will I die? I am very scared. Jnanamaya kosha. This knowledge is amazing. I want to know more. Vijnanamaya kosha. Oh, I can see that knowledge everywhere. My problem is I'm not seeing properly. Anandamaya kosha. Oh Krishna, what is there to complain? Everywhere you are only there. Whenever I remember you, everything seems insignificant. I don't have any problems. So Anandamaya kosha will not have. But right from Annamaya kosha, Manomaya, Pranamaya kosha, Manomaya kosha, Vijnanamaya kosha, you have to go to God. So there's nothing wrong. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. So text 15. Ihate Bhagavan Isho Nahi Tatra Visajjate Atma Labhena Purnartho Navasiddhanti Ye Anutam. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is full in opulence by his own gain. Yet he acts as a creator, maintainer, and annihilator of this material world, in spite of acting in that way, he is never entangled. His devotees who follow his footsteps are also never entangled. Mame vamsho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana mana shastrendriyani prakritisthani karshyati. The living entities in this conditioned world are my eternal fragmental parts. Due to conditioned life, they are struggling very hard with 6 senses, which includes the mind. We are struggling. God is not struggling. He is not creating maintenance because he wants to see something new. He's doing it. And he's doing it for our gradual elevation back to him. So Prabhupada explains that it's a struggle. It's a struggle when we live in this material world. Prabhupada says, our real problem is that we are entangled in these materialistic activities. And because we are conditioned, our struggle continues through punishment in material existence, in one body after another, in different forms of life. Struggle. To realize. Actually, people go on vacations. Even sometimes devotees, they go on vacations. Why? To find happiness? You are already getting happiness in satsang. What other happiness are you trying to find? There was some variety programs. Break. Sort of break lene ka. And then they give reason. Prabhu, for my wife, I'm going on vacation. For my children, I'm going on vacation. Yeah. Sometimes it's needed. Sometimes it's needed to kind of maintain a balance. So-called balance. Until you are imbalanced, you need to maintain balance. Underline the statement. Until you are imbalanced, you need to maintain balance. Until you are not convinced in Krishna consciousness, you try to maintain all these balances. The day you are convinced, bro, the day you are convinced, your only vacation is reading Bhagavatam. Your only vacation is chanting the holy names. We are not convinced. That is the reason we are doing all other things. That's okay. Like I said, it's a gradual elevation. Earlier, you used to all the time think about vacation. Now, once in 3 months or once in 6 months, you are thinking about vacation. So at least Krishna has brought down that weekly to monthly to 6 months, and once in a year maybe. Right? That much has been brought down. Your senses are being managed to be satisfied by devotional activities for certain part of the year. Earlier, it was like, my God, you can look at materialistic people. They are working in big companies, big salaries. How much they are traveling? My God, this weekend I'm going here, this weekend I'm going there. Now, I'll ask a simple question, Prabhupada Maharaj. Unless you are frustrated in your home, then only you go out, right? Why would you go out? Why would you want variety? Unless what you are eating is not filling or satisfying your senses, then only you go for variety, right? Am I right? When you go to a hotel, and you order, say, go to Govindas, you ate idli. Monday, Tuesday, you ate idli. Wednesday, you ate idli. Thursday, you ate idli. Friday, you ate idli. Saturday, you ate idli. Sunday, you ate idli. Monday, you ate idli again. Tuesday, again idli. Is there anything wrong with him?
Nothing wrong, Prabhuji.
Actually, nothing is wrong. Wrong is with that person who cannot eat idli every day. Because for him, food is not for maintenance of body, it is for satisfying his tongue. And then, unless you are frustrated, why will you go for so many varieties? Why will you go for vacation? So all these people who are going on vacations are not privileged people. They are the most frustrated people in life. But when you are satisfied from within, when you are done, when you understood that there is this whole material world, happiness is flickering. And by the way, the family that I'm trying to satisfy by taking them on vacations is only using me for their sense gratification. It's a very heavy statement. Huh? Take it with a pinch of salt. Or you are using them. Or you are using them to find sense gratification. Oh, if I take my wife on vacation, maybe she'll give me more than what she's currently giving. Huh? Instead of being in Krishna consciousness, you have other ulterior desire. That is when you go on vacation. Otherwise, why will you go? Or you're not satisfied. You're not clear. You've still not understood you've still not realized. Well, that is what is the problem. And that's what living entities are doing. They are struggling. Struggling with what? Huh? Struggling with what? Mana sastendriyani prakritistani karshati. They are struggling with the six senses, which includes the mind. They are struggling with the mind. Hare Krishna. So now you will think, Prabhuji, if I tell you I'm going on vacation, nobody will tell where they are going. Don't worry, even I'll go on vacation. What to do? I'm also imbalanced trying to balance. You know what is the biggest illusionary statement in Krishna consciousness? Prabhu, I'm trying to balance my material life and spiritual life. Prabhu. దీనంత పెద్ద అబద్ధం ఏం లేదు గుర్తుపెట్టు. I'm trying to balance my material life and spiritual life. There's nothing called balancing. You're a fool. Or rather, you're fooled for a few initial years where you're told, okay, Prabhu, you have to balance both. There is nothing to balance. Frankly, there's nothing to balance. You're already imbalanced. Surrender and get out. That is the only balance. Before the balance years are left, please fix your imbalance and use your balance years to go back to Krishna. Yeah, going to vacation to Dham may be a good choice. Yeah, provided you go to Dham and you chant and you only do parikrama. You'll reach that stage. That is still a good choice. But if you go to Dham and you're more worried about which AC room I'm getting, which place I'm eating pizza, right? Which kirtan is making me joyful, with a lot of instruments, or which place nobody has gone, I have gone, so I can click a selfie and post. You're not going to Dham. Actually, going to Dham in material consciousness is very dangerous, but still it is good. We are going there. But as we spend more and more years in Krishna consciousness, we actually become fearful of going to Dham. And that fear is good. It's a good fear to carry, that we should not do Dham aparadh. Materialistic people, when they go to Dhams, they do a lot of aparadhs, which is very dangerous. But Krishna says, okay, at least come to me. Better. Text 16. Tam ihamanam nirahankritam buddham nirashisham purnam ananya choditam nin shiksha yantam nijavartama samshritam prabhum prapadye akhila dharma bhavanam. The Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna works just like an ordinary human being, yet he does not desire to enjoy the fruits of work. He is full in knowledge, free from material desires and diversions, and completely independent. As the supreme teacher of the human society, he teaches his own ways of activities. And thus, he inaugurates the real path of religion. I request everyone to follow him. Hare Krishna. So, here, Swayambhu Manu is telling that greatest of Supreme Lord is filled with Satchitananda Vigraha, filled with knowledge, always blissful, never affected by any gunas. So please follow him. Understand his activities. And in the purport, Prabhupada speaks about Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, how he exemplifiedly showed sannyas dharma, sankirtana dharma, and how Ramachandra was a practical example and he showed how to live in this human society. And similarly, Lord Krishna also, he taught his disciple Arjuna how to lead a life and how to go back to him. Right? So Supreme Lord is showing all these things. And Swayambhu Manu thus depicted the activities of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It's being told in the purport. Let me take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, who has descended in the form of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to teach us real knowledge, his devotional service, and detachment from whatever does not foster Krishna consciousness. He has descended because he is an ocean of transcendental mercy. Let me surrender onto his lotus feet. Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yoga Sikshartham Eka Purusha Purana Shri Krishna Chaitanya Sharira Dhari Kripam Udhiryastam Aham Prapadye. Hare Krishna. Right? This is coming in Chaitanya Chandrodaya Nataka 6.74. Hare Krishna. And here saying he asks everyone to follow him to become a guru to deliver the fallen souls of Kali Yuga. Yara dekha tara kaha Krishna upadesha amara ajnanya guru hana tara I desha. Text 17. Now, Swayambhu Manu has finished explaining his instructions. Now Sukadeva Goswami has taken over. Now he's speaking the remaining answer. Who all came, in this whole day of Brahma, which all Manus came, right? Text 17. Shri Sukha Uvacha iti mantropanishadam vyavaharantam samahitam dhristva sura yatu dhana jagdum abhya Dravam Shudha. Sukadeva Goswami continued. Swayambhu Manu was thus in a trance, chanting the mantras of Vedic instruction known as the Upanishads. Upon seeing him, the Rakshasas and Asuras, being very hungry, wanted to devour him. Therefore, they ran after him with great speed. Hare Krishna. Text 18. Tam tatha Vasitam Brikshya Yajna Sarvagato Hari Yamai Pariprato Devair Padva Sasatri Vish Tapam. Translation. The Supreme Lord Vishnu, who sits in everyone's heart, appearing as Yajnapati, observed that the Rakshasas and demons were going to devour Swayambhu Manu. Thus, the Lord, by his sons named the Yamas, and by all the other demigods, killed the demons and Rakshasas. He then took the post of Indra and began to rule the heavenly kingdom. Hare Krishna. Yeah. Hare Krishna. So here the Supreme Lord Vishnu, he himself is coming. He sits in everyone's heart, right? He also appears as Yajnapati, right? And he destroyed all the Rakshasas. So in purport, Prabhupada says the various names of demigods, Devatas, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Lord Indra, and so on, are not personal names. They are names of different posts. In this regard, we understand that Lord Vishnu sometimes becomes Brahma or Indra when there is no suitable person to occupy these posts. Correct? Text 17. Text 19. Swaro Chiso Vitiyastu Manur Agne Suto Abhavat Dhyumat Susena Rochismat Pramukhastasya Chatmaja. The son of Agni, named Swarochisa, became the second Manu. His several sons were headed by Humat, Susena, and Rochismat. Now, again, as I said, now you might be thinking, Prabhuji, why am I knowing this detail? Because you understand the sweetness. When you're in love with Krishna, you'll understand how many times, how many people he sent to deliver all of us. And all these great souls, right, were coming. Purport. Prabhupada says in the purport, there are many incarnations of Supreme Personality of Godhead Manu, the Manu Putra, the sons of Manu, the king of the heavenly planets, and the 7 great sages are all practical incarnations of Supreme Lord. Manu himself, his sons Priyavrata and Uttanapada, the demigods created by Daksha, and the rishis like Marichi were all partial incarnations of the Lord during the regime of Swayambhu Manu. During that time, the incarnation of the Lord as Yajna took charge of ruling the heavenly planets. The next Manu was Swarochisa. The Manus and the sages and demigods are further described in the following 11 verses. Text 20. Tatrendro Rochanastvi Asid Devascha Tusitadaya Urja Stambha the Sambhadya Sapta Rashayo Brahma Vadina. During the regime of the Swarochisa, the post of Indra was assumed by Rochana, the son of Yajna. Tushita and others became the principal demigods, and Urja, Stamba, and others became the 7 saints. All of them were faithful devotees of the Lord. Rishes tu Veda Siras Tusita Nama Patni Abhut Tasyam Jagme Tato Devo Vibhur iti Abhivisruta. Vedasira was a very celebrated rishi. From the womb of his wife, whose name was Tushita, came the avatara named Vibhu. So many, right? I mean, like, unbelievable. Yeah. Every Manvantara, so many things have happened. One Manvantara itself took so many cantos. Swayambhu Manus. And then here, briefly, for answering the question of Parikshit Maharaj, Sukadeva Goswami is giving details, specifically focusing where all Lord came. Text 22. Asta Siti Sahasrani Munayo Ye Drita Vrata Anva Sikshan Pratam Tasya Kaumara Brahma Charina. Vibhu remained a brahmachari and never married throughout his life. From him, 88,000 other saintly persons took lessons on self-control, austerity, and similar behavior. Hare Krishna. Tritiya Uttamo Nama Priyavrata Suto Manu Bhavana Shrinjayo Yajna Hotrad Yastat Sutar Nipa. O king, the third Manu, Uttama, was the son of King Priyavrata. Among the sons of this Manu were Pavana, Shrinjaya, and Yajnahotra. Priyavrata, one of the greatest devotees, Haribol. Yes. Vashishta Tanaya Sapta Rashaya Pramadadhaya Satya Vedashruta Bhadra Deva Indrastu Satyajeev. During the regime of the third Manu, Pramada and other sons of Vasishta became the 7 sages, the Satyas, the Veda Sutras, the Veda Shrutas, and Bhadras became Devatas, demigods, and Satyajit was selected to be Indra, the king of heaven. Now, how allocation of different uh, devotees, different great personalities happening to the posts is also being explained. Who became what? It was not by fluke. It was all planned. The right person is being kept at the right place. Dharmasya sun sun tayam tu sun nritam yam tu Bhagavan Purushottama Satyasena iti kyato jata satya vratai saha. In this Manvantara, the Supreme Personality of Godhead appeared from the womb of Sunrita, who was the wife of Dharma, the Devata, demigod, in charge of religion. The Lord was celebrated as Satyasena, and he appeared with other Devatas, demigods, who as the Satyavratas. So Vrata Duhsilan Asato Yaksha Rakshashan Bhuta Druho Bhuta Ganams Chavadhit Satyajit Sakha. Satyasena, along with his friend Satyajit, who was the king of the heaven, Indra, killed all the untruthful, impious, and misbehaved yakshas, rakshasas, and ghostly living entities who gave pains to the other living beings. Now, Prabhuji, each one of these is explained, might be detailed in other Puranas. Now, remember one thing. Srimad Bhagavatam is Amala Purana and very, very highest literature specifically focused on devotion. That is the reason some of the activities are not being detailedly explained here. The essence is being given here. Right? You might be thinking, why am I reading all these names? You are reading all these names only because Bhagavatam is only giving this much of detail. But if you want to understand why, Satyasena and his friend Satyajit had gone and killed the Yakshas, the Rakshasas, what exactly happened, then you have to go and read in that particular Purana, which is endless. Right? Let's try to focus on Srimad Bhagavatam, where the focus is on the activities of Supreme Lord. Chaturtha Uttama Bharata Chaturtha Uttama Bharata Manur Namna Chatamasha Pritu Kyatir Nara Ketur Iti Adhya Dasha Tat Suta. The brother of the third Manu, Uttama, was celebrated by named Tamasha. And he became the fourth Manu. Tamasha had 10 sons headed by Prithu, Khyati, Nara, and Ketu. Satyaka Harayo Veera Devas Trishikha Ishvara Jyotir Dha Madhaya Sapta Rashayas Tamase Antare. During the regime of Tamas Manu, among the demigod devatas were the Satyakas, Haris, and Veeras. The heavenly king Indra was Trishikha. The sages in Saptarshi Dhama were headed by Jyotirtha. Deva Vaidratayo Nama Vidrates Tanaya Nipa Nashta Kalena Yairveda Vidhrata Svena Tejasa. O king, in the Tamasha Manvantara, the sons of Vidriti, who were known as the Vaidritis, also became Devatas, demigods. Since in course of the time, the Vedic authority was lost, these demigods, by their own powers, protected the Vedic authority. Hare Krishna. Yeah, purport, small purport. In the Tamasha Manvantara, there were two kinds of demigods. One of them was known as Vaidritis. The duty of the demigods is to protect the authority of the Vedas. The word Vedas refers to one who carries the authority of the Vedas, whereas the Rakshasas are those who defy the Vedic authority. If the authority of the Vedas is lost, the entire universe becomes chaotic. Therefore, it is the duty of the demigods as well as the kings and aides of governments to give full protection to the Vedic authority. Otherwise, human society will be in a chaotic condition in which there cannot be peace or prosperity. Tatrapi Jagnye Bhagavan Harinyam Harime Dasha Harir iti ahruto Yena Gajendro Mochito Grahat. Also in this Manvantara, the Supreme Lord Vishnu took birth from the womb of Harini, the wife of Harimedha, and he was known as Hari. Hari saved his devotee Gajendra, the king of the elephants, from the mouth of a crocodile. Shri Rajo Vacha Va Badarayana etatte Shrutam Ichha Maye Vayam Harir Yatha Gajapatim Graha Graha Grastam Amu Muchat delivered. King Parikshit said, "My lord Bhadrayani is another name of Sukadeva Goswami. We wish to hear from you in detail how the king of elephants, when attacked by a crocodile, was delivered by Hari." Now see the attentiveness here. While speaking about many Manus and many avatars, many activities where God delivered, he just told one sentence. Sukadeva Goswami just told one sentence, that he came and delivered the king of elephants. And immediately, here, the question is being asked, can you explain more? What exactly God did? See the eagerness. Among all this stuff, the eagerness. Tell me more. I want to hear more. Tat kathashu mahat puna punyam dhanyam swastaya yanam shubham yatrotta masloko bhagavan gi yate hari. Any literature or narration in which the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Uttama Shloka, is described and glorified is certainly great, pure, glorious, auspicious, and all. Now, Prabhupada talks about ISKCON. See, the Krishna conscious movement is spreading all over the world simply by describing Krishna. We have publicized many books, including Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita in 17 volumes, 400 pages each, as well as Bhagavad Gita and the Nectar of Devotion. We are also publishing Srimad Bhagavatam in 60 volumes. Wherever a speaker holds discourses from these books and an audience hears them, this will create good and auspicious situation. Therefore, the preaching of Krishna consciousness must be done very carefully by the members of Krishna consciousness movement, especially the sannyasis. This will create an auspicious atmosphere. Prabhupada is saying why we are reading Bhagavatam on Ekadashi. It creates all auspiciousness to practice spiritual life. Text 33, last verse. Shri Sutta Uvacha Parikshitaivam Satu Bhadrayani Prayo Pavishtena Katha Shuchodita Vacha Vipra Pratinandya Parthivam Mudha Muninam Sadashi Sma Shranvatam. Shri Sutta Goswami said, "O Brahmanas, when Parikshit Maharaja, who was awaiting impending death, thus requested Sukadeva Goswami to speak, Sukadeva Goswami, encouraged by king's words, offered respect to the king and spoke with great pleasure in the assembly of the sages who desired to hear him." Thus ends the Bhakti and the Purports to the 8th canto, 1st chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The Manus Administration of the Universe. And the next chapter is the most nectarian. I don't know who Shilpa Mataji is allocating. It is about Gajendra Moksha, the elephant, Gajendra's crisis. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Ashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishti. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhujis and Matajis, for giving your time on Ekadashi morning. It's 8:45. I'm sure there are many activities planned for the day. Some of you might chant more rounds. Today is Ekadashi. So please take full advantage of this. And I wish you a very wonderful, blissful, Krishna conscious day and week ahead. And we have Narshinga Chaturdashi, which is coming on this Sunday. So please tell your relatives that you're not related to them. Please come to Satsang. Hare Krishna. Any questions? Okay, so Hare Krishna. Have a wonderful rest of the day. Hari Bol. Dandavad Pranam. Hare Krishna. I'm closing the session.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.